fine. I mean, shoot, people make fun of the ring that you gave me, talking about it's too small, and
hey.
My mom keeps telling me I need to get a wedding band, and I'm like, whatever.
Hey, God freed me of tradition this year.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm married.
I love my ring.
It's noted on the court documents that we married.
Yeah.
You know, let me lean in, because, you know, I'm probably about to upset some people. So, if anybody knows anything about diamonds and the value of diamonds, for everybody that said something about my wife's ring, you know, you really need to go and do your research. Because y'all walking around with these cluster rings on.
And these halos.
Yeah, and while they do look nice, the ring is not necessarily worth that much in terms of like resale. And so if I took Nikea's diamond, which I think is like a half a carat or maybe 3/4 carat, whatever, the resale value on that versus these cluster rings is gonna be way more, because I got cut, clarity, carat, and I forgot the 4th C on this one. And so,
color.
Oh yeah, and the color. Hey, that thing clear. You know what I'm saying? Just like my frames, you can see right through it. But when you got a cluster diamond, you don't get that. And so, you know, I'm happy for people that got their cluster rings. But, you know, don't come up in my comment section talking about, oh, that's a baby ring, cause mind your business.
Of the marriage conversation. EJ has his ring on today. You know, yeah. So he's married today.
It's because I left the house. I actually got dressed.
Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening, for watching. Thank you to those of you who have liked, commented, shared, subscribed, followed, reviewed.
All of that.
You owe me
a quarter.
I'll take the money.
No, you owe me a quarter.
All right, we're back with another fun topic. Hold on, I gotta open my phone to make sure I say it correctly, that I say the right wording.
Yeah, Nakia thought of this topic, so I'm gonna let her kind of spearhead this one.
As y'all can see, I've been taking point on a lot of episodes. And this podcast on my back.
And it's about time. You know what I'm saying? I do all the editing. I do all the posting. I do all of that. So it's about time she did something.
All right, so we are going to be talking about what men and women do when they are ready for marriage, because that's what we can speak of. We're in a heterosexual relationship, so that's the perspective that we have.
Yeah, and I don't have no notes, so I'm shooting from the hip.
Well, you're a man who's married, and you know how you felt before, so.
About what?
What's something that you do to show that you're ready for marriage? Or something that you did to show?
I think this is one thing. This is gonna be counter. Not productive, but counter view culture. There we go. So one of the things that I think that men do, but they may not necessarily be ready for a relationship, is move in with someone. Yeah. Like, I did that. I moved in, but I wasn't ready to get married. I moved in because I was trying to save money.
Financial reasons.
Yeah, and I was trying to get buns easily.
And also, disclaimer, we are not speaking for the majority, for the whole. This is just our perspective.
Oh, yeah. No.
We're not speaking for all.
I'm not a licensed therapist.
We're just saying majority, most, typical, not even typical, just majority, most men folks or women folks, just from our perspective. This is what we think.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that people, or men, so yeah, I think that dudes, you know, I just got to be real. Dudes move in and they're not necessarily ready, but I think that some dudes do move in with the intent like, hey, let me see if I can live with this person. I'm boring you?
No. Yawning does not mean that you're bored or sleepy.
Your brain just needs some oxygen. Anywho, that they move in with the intent saying, let's try this out. Like for me, I don't have any sisters. So living with Nakia was the first person that I lived with. And like, I mean,
was a woman?
Yeah, but there's no like manual on how to like live with a woman. And so there's things that I didn't have to deal with because I only have brothers that now I have to deal with, like living with a woman. And so women are messy. And I mean, guys can be too, but those are all things that you kind of figure out in that stage of living with someone. And so that's my first point, good and bad. That some dudes do it just because they're trying to save money or they're trying to be slick, and then some dudes do it because they are ready for marriage, but they kind of want to test the waters first. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the other part of it, though, on I guess a brighter note, is you like did all of your previous relationships.
You're making 2 points. I haven't even made my first point either.
That's fine. I thought it was for men.
You've been talking though. It said men and women.
Yeah, but I didn't know who was going back and forth. You asked me a question.
Yeah, but you said that's my first point, and he said, but I was about to start talking.
Oh, too late. I'm already on the road. The second thing is that you did all your old relationships, all your old, like, those types of friendships, all of that stuff. Not saying that you can't have those, but I think that if you are serious about the person that you're with, it may not look good for you to still be friends with your ex or somebody that you used to talk to and all of your flings and stuff like that. So I think that those are my 2 points for, and I have more, but I'll let Nakia go. I didn't want to lose my points because I ain't taking no notes. But go ahead.
So I don't have any notes either.
Oh, that's why she was trying to cut me off. I didn't want to lose her points.
Luckily, I have the mental capacity to hold on to things.
Oh.
So one thing that I think women do to show that they're ready for marriage is they start to take care of their partner. Take care of it in the sense like, hey, I'll cook for you. Hey, I'll do your laundry. Even if you're not living together and I'm hanging out, I'll clean your apartment, wash your dishes, like do wifely things for their partner.
You ain't never washed my clothes and cleaned my apartment.
You lived in a 1-bedroom shanty.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? But did you clean it?
Down at the district.
Did you clean it?
Oh, you know, and it didn't need to be clean. And I didn't stay. I only slept there. We would watch Scandal and then go to sleep.
Okay,
and then my next point.
You heard that it didn't need to be clean, but go ahead.
My next point is, I think men and women do this, but they'll start having unprotected sex with you if they're ready to get married.
Possibly. Some of y'all just out here being fast, and that's all right. That's your business, as Auntie Tab say. Yeah. You know, but I think so too.
Like when you see yourself in a long-term relationship with somebody, you're more willing to have unprotected sex with them because when you trust them that they're not sleeping with other people, and that means they're not going to give you any STIs or any type of diseases or infections or anything. And 3, if you accidentally have a baby, if you're not on birth control, if you get pregnant, you know, you could most likely see yourself saying, hey, I can make a decision on what to do with this pregnancy with this person.
Yeah. That's good. I think the other thing is that you start to like share bills, so to speak. If you don't live together, then maybe not. But if you're already living together, I think the next logical step, and again, I'm just speaking for myself, is that you start to share some bills and some responsibility. Maybe y'all have a dog that both of y'all are responsible for.
I was just thinking about that. I was going to say you get a pet together.
Yeah, stuff like that. You know, maybe y'all have a Netflix account that both of y'all split, or one person pay for Netflix, one person pay for Hulu, something like that. And so, you know, I think that those are a couple of the things, or I guess I spoke of a couple things there, but you start to share responsibilities depending on what they are.
Agreed. I'm trying to think of what else women do. Start bringing up the conversation of marriage, like hypotheticals. Like, what if we were married? Would you, or start talking about like what type of wedding would you like to have, and how many kids do you want to have? Like talk about things that you would do as a married couple. Bring up hypothetical situations. Just trying to pick your brain, as people like to say. So I think that's something that women do, like try to bring up the conversation of marriage, or just say stuff like, if I was married, or when I get married, I want this, or I want to have this many kids, or I want to do this, and I want to travel, or I want to wait a couple of years to have kids once I get married.
And that's when we run for the door.
And that's fine, and you ain't the one.
Now, I think the other thing too that men do, kind of along those lines, is that we do start talking about the future. Not necessarily marriage, but stuff like, oh, like, man, I like this job, or I like this city, and I want to get a house here, or, you know, let's take this trip here. Like, you start forecasting long term, like some of your goals and your plans, and including your significant other in that conversation. And so, hey, that might be a telltale sign that if your boo ain't doing that, you know, one, he don't know to do that. But two,
he's just not that into you.
Yeah, he's not that into you. And so you may want to, you know, look other ways, other places, you know, get on Hinge, get on Tinder, get on Bumble, one of those things, because he ain't really that into you.
I think another thing, I think this can go for men and women as well, but speaking from a woman's perspective, we start to bring you into our other relationships. Like, we'll introduce you to our best friend or something, and then you start to build your own relationship with our friends and stuff like that. So bringing you into our other circles, I think that's a sign to say, hey, I want to be with this person long term, or I can see myself marrying this person.
Yeah. I think also that when guys are ready to pop the question, we just start acting weird. Yeah.
Weird how?
Like once we know that we're gonna do it and we got the ring and we trying to plan it all out, you know, the process could be a little bit weird.
DJ was acting weird. The day he got my ring, which I didn't know until after the fact, we recorded a YouTube video together, and I can't believe he actually did it. It was him doing my makeup.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy. And then leading up to it, planning the party, you was trying to invite all these people to our 30th birthday party. I'm like, I'm trying to turn up and get lit, but he want his daughter there? Like, ugh.
Oh, we gonna be there.
But she had her grandparents, and she don't understand what's going on. Reagan understood what was going on. It's a little weird.
So, you know, that's also a telltale sign, too. So, fellas, let's tighten up. You know what I'm saying?
Shaking like a stripper in church.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it is nerve-wracking. Even if you know, without a shadow of a doubt that your fiance or your girlfriend at the time, partner, whatever, is going to say yes, it's still nerve-wracking. You're like, bruh, she gonna pat me down and she gonna find the ring. She gonna do all of those types of things. And it never happens that way. I don't know anybody that said, oh, yeah, I felt the ring the day before I found it or whatever. But yeah, let's tighten up, fellas.
That's hilarious. I'm trying to think. Oh no, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. I think the other thing is, let's see, I said bills and responsibilities. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that may be it. I mean, I'm sure there's something that I'm missing that I haven't said or that we haven't said. But from a male perspective, I think I gave y'all 4 or 5 good examples of when somebody is ready, or how a woman may be able to identify that a man is ready.
Yeah, without actually just saying, I'm ready to get married. That's another way to say, I'm ready to get married. Or, oh, here's another one. When your girl be like, so what is this? What do we have going on?
Run. Nah, don't run. I'm being funny.
When they want to start defining the relationship more, that's what we're thinking about. Okay.
Yeah.
On the right track.
You know, what I will say, and this is kind of on topic, but not, I've learned that depending on like race, ethnicity, culture, and things like that, like being together for 5 years and then being engaged for a year or 2, like in some cultures that's like, what? Y'all did what?
It's a
like
long time.
Yeah, some people will date for a year, get engaged, and then 6 months later they're married. And so like me and Ikea dated for a while. What was it, 5 years? We dated for 5 years, and then we did have like a year engagement.
11 months.
And then we got married. But I don't know. Some people say that when you know, you know. But
the engagement actually would have been shorter if we just would have did what we wanted to do.
yeah, that's true too. But I'm glad that we had the wedding. I'm glad that we waited till October to do it because it wasn't hot outside and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that just depending on your culture, you may know when you first see it, or you may have a shorter incubation period, if you will.
Courting phase.
Yeah, courting phase. But for me, I was like, I wasn't settled. And
No rush.
Yeah, and I know that sounds like a cop out. Somebody probably just clicked off thinking like, okay, here we go with this BS again. But for a male, I speak from a male's perspective.
Man.
Why?
Just say man.
Why can't I say male?
Because don't say male. I'll tell you later.
Okay, I'll speak from a male perspective that a man's perspective that we don't have to have it all figured out, but we want, well, again, I'm speaking for myself here now. I want it to be the provider and the protector, and that doesn't always mean financially, but that's a big piece of a man being stable and having some stability. They want to know that they can take care of themselves, and that it come down to it that they can take care of you as well. And so I know that that's a big thing why some men do have that longer, courting phase. They may know, but they just may not be ready because they don't think that they're stable enough to do it. So, just because I named all of those reasons, that he could be doing all of that and still not asking, just know that he may not be asking because he doesn't feel stable in himself in order to provide for him and you if it came down to it. So.
And then I think you also have to realize that everybody doesn't want to be married. Some people may just want to be in a committed relationship that's not legally binding, or some people just stay in long-term relationships, date around or whatever. So you have to keep that in mind too. And I don't think it's meant for everybody to be married. That's just my opinion.
Nah,
so you have
now.
to take that into consideration. There are some people that aren't meant to be
married.
married.
You believe in Jesus Christ?
Yeah, some people aren't meant to be married. Oprah's not married. Tracy Ellis Ross is not married. And that's okay.
They married under...
Tracy Ellis Ross is like not married.
I'm not going to go down all
Who she with?
She not. I'm not saying that. But according to the Bible, once you have sex with somebody, you married.
Yes, but I'm talking about legally binding,
okay.
not physically binding. But some people just don't want to get married. And if that's something that you want to do and your partner doesn't want it, and don't try to change your mind. Leave. Move on. It's going to be difficult. It's easier said than done, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
And I do have a little hot topic question to ask EJ before we log off.
What's this crap?
How do you feel about women proposing to men? And how would you feel if a woman had proposed to you?
I'm going to tell you no to your face.
In front of everybody?
In front of everybody. Or I'm going to say something like, oh, let me think about it. Or I'm not going to say anything and I'm just going to pick you up off the ground and give you a hug and whisper in your ear. There's some bull.
Why you had to sun me like that?
Yeah, exactly.
But how do you feel about women proposing to men?
Hey, now this is probably going to go against everything I probably said in every other podcast about me. I believe in women having equal rights and all of that. But in this particular thing, the Bible says the man, findeth a wife. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and finds favor with the Lord. It don't say nothing about the women folk jumping down on one knee. And I think it's something honorable about being chosen as a woman. Again, I'm not trying to belittle anybody and say...
I'm not saying it's dishonorable to propose.
But it's something honorable about a man choosing you and saying, this is what I see for myself, and spending the rest of my life with you. And in my opinion, you can't make a man be ready. Even if you do propose to him and he say yes, he still won't ready, because if he was ready, he would have proposed to you before you can even think about proposing to him. And so, yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. If somebody proposed to me, I'm telling them no, off rip. And I'm probably gonna break up with you, to be honest. Yeah, cause you embarrassing me now. You know what I'm saying?
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, you embarrassing me, and
Jay needs to check his masculinity at the door.
yeah, don't embarrass me like that. So, yeah. Hey, you asked. Hey, y'all can like me up in the comment section, but that's just my 2 cents. So,
How I feel about women proposing, I'm gonna say to each her own. Would I do it?
These blanket statements. It's okay, Nike.
I'm trying to answer my question if you would let me talk.
Yeah, okay.
In my opinion, I would not propose to somebody.
Why not?
That's just not my jam.
Because it's dishonorable.
It's not dishonorable. That's just not. I did propose, I would not get down on one knee.
You want to be chosen.
No. And I think if I did propose, I would just stand up and talk to you holding your hands. I'm not going to give you a ring. I would be like,
that's not a proposal.
will you marry me? We should get married. Something like that. It wouldn't be a whole like, I wouldn't do what men have traditionally done, getting down on one knee, putting a ring on your finger, stuff like that. It would be more like I'm gonna start a discussion, then we just mutually decide to get married. Which has happened to me.
So can a dude propose without a ring? Is there anything wrong with that?
No, I've been proposed to without a ring.
You didn't know no better. But if I don't want to propose to you, and all of the hoopla that I did, it wasn't a lot of hoopla, but all of that, and without a ring, you would have been okay with that.
I'm fine. I mean, shoot, people make fun of the ring that you gave me, talking about it's too small, and my mom keeps telling me I need to get a wedding band, and I'm like, whatever.
Hey, God freed me of tradition this year.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm married.
I love my ring.
It's noted on the court documents that we married. Yeah. You know, let me lean in, because, you know, I'm probably about to upset some people. So, if anybody knows anything about diamonds and the value of diamonds, for everybody that said something about my wife's ring, you know, you really need to go and do your research. Because y'all walking around with these cluster rings on.
And these halos.
Yeah, and while they do look nice, the ring is not necessarily worth that much in terms of like resale. And so if I took Nikea's diamond, which I think is like a half a carat or maybe 3/4 carat, whatever, the resale value on that versus these cluster rings is gonna be way more, because I got cut, clarity, carat, and I forgot the 4th C on this one. And so,
color.
Oh yeah, and the color. Hey, that thing clear. You know what I'm saying? Just like my frames, you can see right through it. But when you got a cluster diamond, you don't get that. And so, you know, I'm happy for people that got their cluster rings. But, you know, don't come up in my comment section talking about, oh, that's a baby ring, cause mind your business.
Keep my wife name out your mouth. That's what EJ just told y'all. Ooh, got a little spicy there at the end. But that's it. That's all for us today. But drop down in the comments below. Let us know some things that you think men and or women do to show that they're ready for marriage. And answer the question for us. How do you feel about women proposing to men?
It's a no.
And if you are a woman, would you ever propose to a man? How do you feel about that? All right, that's all I have for the good of the order.
Yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Yes, thank you so much for tuning in, listening, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, reviewing, all that jazz. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Continue to do so, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Peace.